Hey guys, this is Bharadwaj with Fonearena.com and this is the Gionee Elife E6. The Elife E6 is Gionee's latest flagship smartphone with a 1080p display, and one other thing that is really nice in terms of on-paper specs is the 13 megapixel camera. So this is the 13 megapixel camera on the back, nicely covered by a circular rim. It also has a single LED flash and a secondary microphone for stereo recording in video. So this can also record 1080p Full HD video at 30 fps. So let's dive into the camera and see how the interface is. So if you remember right, we also reviewed the Gionee Elife E5 and the interface is pretty much similar to that. So you have a very neat interface here. Over at the top right, you have the toggles for the flash and the front facing camera. The front facing camera is a 5 megapixel unit and is actually really nice. And as you can see from the display here, the quality of the photos and videos, which is at 720p, is really nice. And then you have the toggle between the video and the camera stills. So these are two complete pages and the large shutter button here, and you can actually access the camera just from a swipe, but you also have a thumbnail that takes you to the gallery. Over here is the most important part. So all the different modes and all the settings are on the left bar, but they are hidden by that small button there. So here you go. There are different capture modes. So these are the ones that you usually see on the MediaTek cameras. You have normal, panorama, multi-angle view is a sweep panorama. You have eraser, best face, face beauty, best shot, and EV bracket shot. So practically the same as what you saw and see on many other MediaTek cameras. And second, you have the capture action. So a couple of new things here. Gesture shot will take a photo when you do a win gesture in front of the camera. Smile shot and touch shot are pretty self-explanatory. You also have white balance settings and color effects. These are pretty normal, nothing special. And then you also have photo booth like FX and frames, which you might want to use to probably make fun of someone. And then you also have SDR, but this is not in the capture mode but in the camera settings. And then you have sound, face detection, and all the other settings. You also have the scene modes here, just like what you see on other cameras. You have tons of shooting modes, and then you have burst shots and other image parameters that you can control, like ISO, brightness, sharpness, and whatnot. So lots of features here, but probably we could have more controls on the left hand side would be easier. So that's the stills UI. So moving into video, as we said earlier, this can record 1080p videos at 30 fps, and the front facing camera does 720p. So as you can see in the videos, there are less settings. You can change the white balance, you can use the basic color effects, and even in the settings you can set the video quality, which is fine at 1080p, and other settings at lesser resolutions. You can change the storage locations, you can turn off the microphone. You also have electronic image stabilization, which is software based image stabilization, and then all the image parameters. So this is the Elife E6's camera UI. So what about the camera performance? That's what we are going to see right now. So this phone, being a 13 megapixel camera, you would expect it to take great images. So how did it take? We tested it out in several conditions, several lighting conditions, and several other conditions. So just take a look at some of the daylight samples that we took. So as you saw from the daylight samples, the Gionee Elife E6 takes really decent pictures. The colors are great, but unfortunately the detail is not there. So for the 13 megapixel picture, comparing other cameras, you get lesser detail. There is aggressive noise reduction, but the colors are at least nice. So that's one good thing. Now moving on to low light shots, the Gionee Elife E6, how does it perform? Take a look at the samples here. So as you saw from the low light shots, the image has a lot of noise. This is one low light shot that we took, and using the flash completely overblows the picture. So in terms of low light, the camera is just average. But otherwise, in indoor lighting, we feel that the camera does pretty well, manages the lighting really well, and takes really nicely detailed pictures. This is one close-up shot that we took indoors, and this turned out pretty well. So talking of close-up shots, we also took a number of macro shots, testing out the camera's fidelity in close-up range. So take a look at the samples here. So as you saw from the samples, the macro shots are really detailed. They are much better than the normal daylight shots. So this shows how good the camera is, but the algorithms don't work as well in other conditions, because to keep the image to a minimum size, it aggressively reduces the details, so you don't get to see that much. But macro shots are incredibly detailed and show off the camera's real prowess. So that's one great thing. The macro shots came out really well with great colors and great accuracy and true to life details. So that's one thing, a redeeming fact for the E6's camera. Moving on to video mode, we shot a number of videos on this phone, 1080p 30 fps, as I've been saying repeatedly. So let's take a look at the video sample and see how it is. So as you saw from the sample, the video autofocusing might be continuous, but the exposure metering is pretty bad. So it doesn't change as well. So you gotta keep on tapping the screen to change the metering, and too much of aggressive metering introduces noise in the video. So that's one thing we noted, and details are also not that great. It's just average. So overall, in terms of image performance and video performance, we think the E6 does great in macro shots, above average in daylight shots because it has good color, and average in other conditions like low light. So there might be noise, but it's still just average, capturing still a decent amount of detail. And in video, we think the performance is just average. But considering the price and the position of this camera, we think the E6 could have done a lot better in probably tweaking the algorithms to take advantage of the huge sensor and taking much better pictures. So that's one thing that Gionee could probably look into by improving the E6's camera, but otherwise it's pretty decent. You can take a lot of good pictures with this. The macro shots come out pretty nicely, and since most of the phone shots are usually macro, it comes out really nice. And the colors in daylight shots too are really well detailed in comparison with the other phones. So that's it for the camera review of the Gionee Elife E6. We hope you liked this video. If you did, do hit the like button and do subscribe to the channel for more videos like these. Thanks for watching, and let us know what you think in the comment section below.